Coming up on News 2.
It is the wrong time for them to be doing this, especially that they have time.
Construction begins this weekend on Main Street, St. Thomas, laying underground electrical cables. Officials explain the benefits. However, many business owners continue to express their concerns. 12 officers and civilian honorees were recognized and awarded for their bravery, outstanding accomplishments, plus taking to heart the importance of the heart. A cardiac symposium continues. Hello, welcome, and thanks for joining us on this edition of News 2. I'm Sandra Gumansing. As News 2 reported Wednesday, the Virgin Islands Water and Power Authority will begin construction by the post office this weekend and then move to Rattitsgata for the next 4 months, laying underground electrical cables. But with ongoing construction at Market Square and Public Works tearing up Main Street and Rattitsgata again this summer, many businesses are worried. News 2's Erica Bivens has this update.
Many downtown business owners are unhappy with the timing of these construction projects.
We're not against them digging it, but it's the time per se, and it is the wrong time for them to be doing this, especially that they have time and they've had time to do this.
But Governor John P. Young Jr., who made a visit here at Market Square Wednesday, says it's all part of their long-term vision.
One of the things that we've been very cognizant of doing is making investments within our town areas and making sure that that investment is done in such a way that, one, for people who live on each island, come downtown, but also with respect to the investments that we need to do in terms of moving forward.
The projects will allow downtown to become ADA compliant, and burying the electrical cables underground will also allow for quicker response to outages. But one business offered a suggestion.
One of the sacrifices will have to work along with the construction, hoping that they will provide a ramp some sort for pedestrians, that they can still able to walk on the sidewalk, walk to and from the different businesses on the street.
WAPA says during the day there may be limited disruption to the flow of traffic. However, sidewalks will always remain open for foot traffic. Now, disruptions to be aware of. Beginning Saturday, WAPA will be doing archaeological testing near the post office. However, there will be no vehicle or foot traffic disruptions. Then starting Monday, construction will begin from the post office and move towards Hibiscus Alley over the next 6 weeks, connecting existing manholes along Main Street. Drivers are urged to pay attention to traffic directions. You can also sign up for VI alerts to receive updates on detours or schedule changes. For News 2, I'm Erica Bivens.
WAPA's Executive Director Hugo Hodge Jr. assured News 2 that carnival routes would not be affected from the construction. An island-wide outage occurred on St. Thomas yesterday afternoon when, according to WAPA, an expansion joint ruptured on a gas turbine unit in the Randolph E. Harley power plant. Here's an update. Technical crews worked to troubleshoot the problem, and power was fully restored by 5:18 p.m. They also reported that an employee of one of the contractor companies working in the power plant suffered minor injuries. WAPA says that they are still troubleshooting the outage problem, but that as of now, all feeders in the St. Thomas-St. John district are functioning. The Virgin Islands Police Department hosted their first awards ceremony for the year Friday on St. Croix. Family members looked on as recognition was given to both police and civilian honorees for their outstanding accomplishments. News 2's Erica Parsons was there and has the story.
Being a police officer is oftentimes a thankless job, but opportunities like today's award ceremony gives officers a chance to be recognized for their exceptional service. Bravery and dedication go hand in hand when you think of members of the VI Police Department, but today officers were singled out for going above and beyond the call of duty.
We need to have more of these acknowledgments for the officers. They put their lives on the line on a daily basis. People don't realize what officers go through on a daily basis. Not only the officers, but also the families of the officers.
Awards were given to officers Anthony Hector, Richard Matthews, Leon Cruz, Roger Roberts, Jason Viveros, Roland Richardson, and Beverly Reven Joseph for exceptional service. Eddie Stout and Mario Christian were honored with a Combat Cross Award. St. Croix Acting Police Chief James Parris described the events that won them the honors. Civilians Melody Rames and Dr. Carmine Williams were also rewarded.
The Civilian Service Award is given to civilians who the department feels that have gone above and beyond for the department. Dr. Williams, of course, is a person that we can call on any hour of the night. We don't really have a voice because I am not a very newspaper-worthy person. But Melody picks up picks it up and runs with it, and she takes good care of us.
Officers Charles Orange, Lydia Figueroa, Juan Cruz, Roland Richardson, Cuthbert Cyril, and Beverly Revan Joseph were also honored for their service during festival, and St. Croix Police Chief Chris Howell thanked all of them for their dedication. Acting Commissioner Carrard wants more going forward.
When an officer commits an infraction, we're quick as supervisors to put pen to paper. So I'm expecting from the supervisors in both districts, from the highest level down, to put pen to paper when an officer does well.
Erica Parsons, News 2.
An awards ceremony for the St. Thomas-St. John District is planned for the near future. Fallen VI officer, meanwhile, Colvin Georges will be nationally recognized. The 41-year-old police officer died on September 26, 2012 in a Florida hospital after being shot in the line of duty on St. Thomas. On May 13, 2013, his name will be added to the National Memorial Wall in Washington, D.C. as part of National Police Week celebrated from May 12th to the 18th. He is one of 129 law enforcement officers who were killed in 2012, according to the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial Fund. The memorial includes about 19,000 officers' names. Police on St. Croix arrested an 18-year-old male and 2 minors for third-degree burglary after neighbors in the Estate Wim area notified police of suspicious activity. Officers received the call around 10:30 a.m., then canvassed the area and noticed 3 individuals who fit the neighbors' descriptions. 18-year-old Joshua Frontal and 2 minors aged 17 and 15 were detained after officers noticed one of the males put a black bag with a stolen laptop in it on the floor and walked away from it. The suspects also had in their possession stolen jewelry and a recorder. Frontal has been placed on $25,000 bail, and the minors were remanded to the Youth Rehabilitation Center. Police on St. Thomas arrested 20-year-old Marley Sanders on February 6th. A witness positively identified him as the person who broke into a vehicle January 18th on Main Street. Sanders stole a laptop computer worth almost $2,000 from the car. He was charged with grand larceny, possession of stolen property, and damage to a vehicle. His bail was set at $65,000, and he was remanded to the Bureau of Corrections. The Department of Human Services, in conjunction with the VI Police Department, is searching for Parishna Bufang, a 16-year-old resident of the Queen Louise Home for Children who was reported missing on the evening of Thursday, February 7th. Bufang was dropped off at the Good Hope School Thursday morning, but she never attended classes. Bufang is African American, 4'7", and weighs approximately 110 pounds. She was last seen wearing sunshades, a red baseball cap, red jeans, and long hair extensions. Anyone found harboring or aiding Bufang can be arrested and face criminal prosecution. Call the Juvenile Investigation Bureau with any information at 778-2211. The frantic search for a former LAPD police officer accused of murdering 3 people is now centered on a ski resort town about 80 miles east of Los Angeles. Police officers kept their rifles ready as they searched. They're looking for accused cop killer Christopher Donner. Authorities found his burned-out pickup truck in the town. Police are scrambling to find the former LAPD officer and Navy reservist before he can attack again. He's accused of murdering 3 people, including 1 police officer. In a rambling manifesto posted on Facebook, Donner declared war on law enforcement. The LAPD fired Donner for making false statements. A potentially historic winter storm is slamming the Northeast. Blizzard warnings are in effect from New York City to Maine. Some parts of New England could get 3 feet of snow and 75-mile-per-hour winds. Marley Hall has the latest from Hartford, Connecticut.
The first flakes started falling in New Jersey around 6 a.m. New York City joggers and dog walkers took the Friday morning flurries in stride, but by tomorrow, Manhattan could be buried under a foot of snow.
If it gets crazy, stay in. If not, keep on moving. That's how New York is.
Parts of New York and New Jersey that are still recovering from Superstorm Sandy are bracing for powerful winds and storm surges. Hundreds of plow trucks are ready to spread 250,000 tons of salt on city streets and roadways.
Here in Hartford, Connecticut, people are preparing for 2 feet of snow. Power outages are a major concern because hurricane-force winds are expected to hit this city.
This Home Depot in Manchester, Connecticut was busy this morning. People are stocking up on salt, flashlights, and other storm supplies.
I got some extra ice melt, some extra flashlights. As long as you're stocked up and you got everything you need, it's not that bad. So I wouldn't say I welcome it, that's for sure.
Amtrak trains will stop running between New York and Boston this afternoon. And many airports across New England are shutting down, canceling thousands of flights. Marley Hall for CBS News, Hartford, Connecticut.
Meanwhile, here in the Virgin Islands, due to that storm, flights in the Henry Rolson Airport on St. Croix will not be affected. According to the Virgin Islands Port Authority Executive Director Carlton Dow, several flights are, however, overnighting at the Cyril King Airport this evening on St. Thomas. Those flights are American Airlines Flight 404 to New York, United Airlines Flight 1482 to Newark, New Jersey, and JetBlue Flight 804 to Boston, Massachusetts. Delta Airlines has also canceled its scheduled Saturday flight from New York. You should contact the airlines prior to your flight. Keeping our eye on the economy, sales at McDonald's fell again last month thanks in part to ongoing weaknesses in Japan. There might be an expansion of a small recall of Pontiac G6 cars. About 8,000 were recalled by GM in 2009, but all G6s from the 2005 to 2009 model years may be added. Stocks have snapped a recent losing streak because of strong earnings report. This is our New York Stock Exchange with Scotiabank's Stock Market Watch. The Dow, Nasdaq, S&P all up. The Dow 48, Nasdaq 28, S&P 8. Coming up on News2, it was much more than a Black History moment, but a day filled with guest speakers, presentations, music, food, and demonstrations at All Saints Cathedral School as they recognize Black History Month. That and more coming up after the break. With Black History Month in full swing, the staff and students at the All Saints Cathedral School decided to join in as they hosted their annual Black History Fair this Friday on St. Thomas. The program was filled with a variety of presentations that included dances, skits, singing from the students, and more. The fair also featured a list of keynote speakers, which included Makian Phillips of Taino International and Dr. Chinzera Kahina from the VI Caribbean Cultural Center.
The importance of this event is to promote the understanding of Black history, where we came from, because in knowing where you come from, you will know how to move forward. And so we want to arm our students with the proper information, and so we want for them to be able to take home with them information that will help them to grow and thrive and continue to be successful in the world and in school.
The third annual Virgin Islands Cardiac Symposium held day 2 of their 3-day symposium. The symposium, which is organized by the Virgin Islands Cardiac Center at the Juan Louis Hospital, is the center's way of educating physicians and the public on cardiovascular disease. News2's Janisha John brings us more from the symposium.
The Virgin Islands Cardiac Center hosted the second day of its 3-day annual Cardiac Symposium. This year's theme, The Heartbeat of the Caribbean, invited guest speakers to focus on cardiovascular disease.
So this is a 3-day conference in which we are discussing various aspects of cardiovascular disease, which includes cardiovascular diseases related to breast cancer, related to pacemakers as well. And so we really have an excellent number of physicians who are here, and also dietitians and other physicians as well, discussing cardiovascular health.
Local and visiting guest speakers spoke on various subjects relative to heart disease, including keynote speaker from New York, Dr. Ola Akinboboye, who focused on detecting the common disease.
It's a great pleasure for me to be here to serve as the keynote speaker for the third Cardiac Symposium. We all know that heart disease is the leading cause of death worldwide, and really the objective of this type of symposia is to bring education and improve the practices across the board in terms of how we manage coronary artery disease.
Physicians aren't the only one benefiting from the knowledge exchanged at the symposium, as the events are open to the public to attend and learn more about heart disease.
An excellent showing of the public coming to see this symposium, because it's very important, because we as physicians need to communicate with our community so that they can have better health care. And that's really the punchline, better health care for our Virgin Islanders.
Nisha John, News 2.
Now, the Cardiac Symposium continues on Saturday at 7:30 a.m. to 12 p.m. at the center's conference facility, and at 7 p.m. it closes with a dinner and dance at Fort Frederick. The management and staff of Hubbly Bubbly Hookah Restaurant and Lounge say they are closing their doors tonight at 11 p.m., but they want to go out with a bang and invite all their loyal customers to come out and enjoy their last night at the Yacht Haven Marina. The lounge has been a favorite to those who enjoy the Middle Eastern food and atmosphere. Managers want you to know, however, this is not the end.
Regretfully, due to circumstances that are beyond our control, Yacht Haven Grand will no longer be the home of Hubbly Bubbly. We'd like to thank all of our loyal customers who've supported us over the years. All of the staff feel like our customers are more like a family to us than just customers, and we will definitely miss serving you all. But we'd like people to rest assured that this is not a goodbye, and that it's just to see you again soon.
Well, break out your beads and costumes and head on over to St. Croix's North Shore Saturday for the 11th annual Mardi Gras Parade. This Cane Bay Beach celebration features floats, live music, local vendors, and plenty of food. The parade begins promptly at noon at Sylvie's and travels on North Shore Road past Spratt Net Bar and Grill. Norma George, owner of the Domino Hut Club, is the Grand Marshal, and this year's theme is Hooray for Hollywood.
I'm expecting to see all kinds of movie stars coming out. We don't know who we're expecting yet. Marilyn Monroe, we have Rita Hayworth, we have Veronica Lake, we actually don't know if Cher's going to make an appearance. You never know.
Stick around, your News 2 AccuWeather forecast is coming up next.